Hello friends. So in this class we are going to study about class B output stage. In a class B stage the transistor conducts only for the half of the input cycle. Okay. So the resulting conduction angle is 180 degree. Okay. This we have seen when we classified different output stages. So let us say its circuit diagram. So what we have here is, first we have an NPN, let's call it QN, and then one PNP, let's call it QP. Okay, so both are connected. So for this the power supply is VCC, and for PNP the power supply is minus VCC. Okay, input will be given at base of both the transistors. Okay, so this is the input voltage, Vi is applied here. Okay, now output, the emitter of both the transistor will be connected and the output is taken across a resistance RL. So output will be across the RL. Okay, and this current will be called as the load current IL. Okay, so here we are using two transistors. Okay, so here this class B output stage consists of a complementary pair of transistors. Okay, so complementary pair, so one is NPN and other is PNP. So they are connected in such a way that both cannot conduct simultaneously. Okay, so when Q1 conducts, QP will be off, and when QP conducts, Q1 will be off. Okay, so that's why it is connected in this way. Okay, now let us see the circuit operation. First let us assume that the input is a sine wave. Okay, and to explain the circuit operation I am going to consider only ideal constants. Okay, so let us introduce the practical concern later. Okay, so here suppose this is the input we have applied over time. Okay, so now when the input is positive, okay, means I am talking about this. When input is positive, what will happen? Okay, now see, this class B amplifier is not biased. Okay, so it is getting on and off only by the input signals here. So when we get here positive signal, that time Q1 will be on, okay, and QP will be off, so the current will flow in this way. So V0 will follow Vi, so this will be the V0. Okay, next when we talk about the negative half cycle of the input, okay, so means we are talking about this now. Okay, so this will be the input. This time what will happen? This will be on and this will be off. Now the current will flow in this way. Okay, so this time the current action is opposite. Okay, so it means, so the output also will be opposite, but the input is already opposite because input is already negative here. V0 is also negative, so we can say that V0 is following Vi like this. Okay, so individually we are seeing that Q1 and QP are not on same time. When Q1 is on due to the positive input half, that time QP is off. Okay, and when QP is on due to negative input half, that time Q1 is off. Okay, so individually we are getting this and this for only 180 degree. Okay, but since we have applied two transistors, we are getting a complete 360 degree output here. Okay, so this is the basic operation of class B power amplifier. Okay, now let us introduce some practical things here. So we'll see one by one. Okay, so when the input voltage Vi is 0, both transistors are cut off and the output voltage is 0. Okay, now as Vi goes positive, okay, so as here Vi will go positive, okay, that time we just saw that Q1 will be on, QP will be off ideally, but practically not only positive. When Vi goes positive and exceeds about 0.5 volt, okay, why? Because this transistor is on only when we maintain some here voltage here, okay, so not at 0, okay, some drop has to be present here. So let's say it is 0.5 volt. Okay, so when as Vi goes positive and exceeds about 0.5 volt, Q1 conducts. Okay, so Q1 will conduct. Okay, and this time it will behave as an emitter follower, and V0 follows Vi. Okay, so if we want to write a KVL across this loop, because that time QP is off, so we can say that plus Vi minus VBE of N minus V0 equals to 0, or V0 equals to Vi minus VBE N. Okay, let's call it equation number 1 for this class. Okay, now ideally V0 should equal to Vi. Okay, but here some voltage drop across base emitter has to be there, which is required to switch the Q1 on. So V0 will be Vi minus VBE N. Okay, meanwhile the base emitter junction of the QP will be reverse bias. Okay, so this will be reverse bias, this junction. Okay, hence QP will be cut off. Okay, now similarly, if the input goes negative, okay, means we are talking about this. When the input goes negative by more than again 0.5 volt, again this voltage between this and this has to be minus 0.5 volt. QP turns on and acts as an emitter follower. So this will be the direction of the current, because that time Q1 will be off. Okay, so if the input goes negative by more than about 0.5 volt, QP turns on and acts as an emitter follower. Again V0 will follow Vi, but again not exactly Vi. VBE of P has to be there. Okay, so in this case directly I can write V0 equals to Vi. So this is ideal case. Okay, Vi should equal to Vi, but practically Vi plus VBE of P will be there for this equation number 2. So this condition, the equation number 1 condition is when Vi is positive here. This condition is when Vi is negative. Okay, so both the conditions V0 ideally will follow Vi, but practically some drop across base emitter for both the transistor has to be there. So we can see that the transistors in class B stage are biased at 0 current, okay, and conduct only when the input signal is present. The circuit operates in a push-pull fashion. This kind of operation is called as push-pull, where Q1 pushes the current towards the output RL and QP pulls the current from RL to the ground. Okay, so this is the circuit operation we have seen. Now let us see the transfer characteristics. So transfer characteristics means we have to plot a curve between V naught and Vi. Okay, so let us see this equation again. See here, when V naught is positive, okay, so let's say this value is 0.5 volt. Okay, so V naught will be Vi minus 0.5. Similarly, when Vi is negative, we can write V naught equals to Vi plus 0.5. Okay, now it means when Vi is positive, means going in upward direction. Okay, when it crosses minus 0.5, then only V naught we will get. It means from 0 to 0.5, when Vi is positive, V naught will be 0 till that point. Okay, so let us find this value. In the curve, let us say this place is where Vi is plus 0.5. Okay, so in this case, this is V naught is 0. I have made a dark line here. From 0 to Vi 0.5, V naught will be 0. Okay, now similarly here in this direction, okay, Vi plus 0.5, it means when Vi is negative. Vi negative means when Vi is going in this direction, negative direction. Okay, so till minus 0.5. Okay, because plus is written here, so till minus 0.5, V naught will be 0. Okay, so let us find that value also. Okay, so from here, let's call that this value is minus 0.5 volt. Okay, okay, so from here till this point it will be 0. Okay, so because this value is we have fixed here, so when we put here Vi minus 0.5, V naught will be 0. Similarly, you put here Vi plus 0.5, V naught will be 0. So this is the range where Vi is greater or equal to minus 0.5 and less or equal to 0 plus 0.5, V naught will be 0. After that, V naught will follow Vi. Okay, so in the positive direction also and the negative direction also. Okay, so here we'll get this curve. Okay, like I'll make a darker line here. Okay, similarly V naught is following Vi in negative direction also. Okay, now let us find the maximum and minimum points for this. See, during Vi positive, okay, if I make the circuit diagram, it will be like this. VCC, Vi is positive and more than 0.5 volt, so this will be on, Qn will be on, Qp will be off. So this is our load RL. So current will flow in this way when Vi is positive and after crossing the 0.5 volt mark. Now what happened here is, so this is our V naught. V naught. Okay, now maximum what can happen? At the maximum, VC, E and SAT will be there. Okay, means when Vi is maximum, that time the voltage drop across collector and emitter will be VC in saturation, which ideally should be 0. Okay, but practically we have some 0.2 or 0.3 volt. Okay, so in this case, if I write V naught from here to ground. Okay, so if I write KVL, what I will get here? For this I will get as V naught equals to VCC minus VCE and in saturation. Okay, so this is the maximum value of V naught possible. Okay, so it means this mark, this value, the maximum value is here, it is VCC minus VCE n when it is in saturation. Okay, similarly, in when Vi is negative, we can mark this value as minus VCC plus VEC for PNP where it is in saturation. Okay, now so this is the maximum value of V naught. Now what is the maximum value of Vi possible? Okay, so if I put here V naught maximum here, so this is your VCC minus VCE sat. Okay, and then if I take this VB this side, so plus, it means the maximum value of Vi possible is first that V naught maximum, which is VCC minus VCE for NPN, which is in saturation. Okay, this is the maximum V naught. Okay, so and then this VBEN we have to go to take left side, so plus VBE n. So this is the maximum value of Vi. Okay, and then after that, even if increase, nothing will happen, it will go to curve will be saturated. Okay, similarly this side, negative side. Okay, this value will be, so if I put V naught max here, so V naught max here is minus VCC plus VECP sat, and then this I take left side, become minus. Okay, so I can write here that my maximum value allowed for Vi in negative direction is minus VCC plus VECP sat, which is this value, maximum V naught, and then minus VBEP when we have taken this to left side. Okay, so this is that maximum Vi, and after that it will be, the curve will be saturated. Okay, so this is the transfer characteristics of the class B stage power amplifier. Okay, so here we are getting this dead band. Okay, when Vi is from minus 0.5 volt to plus 0.5 volt, in this range from this dead band from here to here, because of this we will get the crossover distortion. Okay, because in this zone the transistor is not operating in any of the input cycle. Okay, so let us illustrate that. See, suppose we are having let's see, we'll make this characteristics. Okay, so this side we have Vi and this side we have V naught. Okay, and then we are making this, then I will just make a rough diagram. This is from here to here, it's a dead band. Okay, so and then we have this diagram. Okay, let's say this is the maximum value. Okay, similarly this will be the maximum value in negative side. Okay, so maximum value is VCC minus VCE. Okay, here we get, and if we apply, suppose here, suppose this is the input we have applied, sine wave. Okay, so because of this, here in this region, of the input, V0 is 0. Okay, so if we make the output based on this here, okay, on time axis, like this time axis, if you make the output based on this, so what we'll get from, suppose we're starting from here, so from here to this, okay, there will not be any output, and then there will be an output like this. Okay, similarly in negative cycle, from here to here no output, and then we will get from here, and this will repeat. Okay, for this the input was like this. Suppose I make this line, this was the input. Like that. Okay, so what happened here is this band means positive side of represents this one. Okay, similarly this represents the negative side of this. Okay, it's not up to the scale, just for the understanding I have drawn it here. Okay, similarly here you can see that V0 max in the transfer characteristic we got VCC minus VCE. Okay, what was VIM max? We got VCC minus VCE plus VBEN. So this is that value plus VBEN. Okay, similarly here VBE, VBP. Okay, so we get this diagram in the output. This is called the crossover distortion. Okay, so this is how we can illustrate the effect of crossover distortion. Okay, now you see here I made input here. Okay, now if this input is smaller than this crossover, there won't be any output. Okay, so the effect of crossover distortion will be most pronounced when the amplitude of the input signal is small. Okay, the crossover distortion in audio power amplifier gives rise to unpleasant sound. So we need to remove it. We will remove this in class AB amplifier. In the next section we will see how to remove. Simply we will bias it, nothing else. What we have to do is, see, for the input side, this region and this region, both side, or we can say this region and this region, the transistor is not working. So what we will do is, we will bias the transistor 0.5 volt both sides. Okay, for NPN as well as for PNP. So that we will do in class AB amplifier. Okay, so here we saw the transfer characteristics plus the crossover distortion. Let us see the power conversion efficiency. Okay, so let us neglect the crossover distortion for time being. Let the output sinusoid have the peak amplitude Vp. Okay, now the average load power will be same as that of class A stage, because if we ignore the crossover distortion, if we ignore this, okay, so we will get this. So it is same as the class A. Okay, so the average load power will be same as that of the class A type. Okay, so we can write directly. We did this detail for the class A. We are writing it directly here. So PL equals to half Vp square by RL. Okay, so directly we wrote from the class A stage, this average load power we can write like this, because if we ignore the crossover distortion, it is same as the class A power amplifier. Okay, let it be question number 3. Okay, now the current drawn from each supply will consist of half sine wave of peak amplitude Vp by RL. Okay, Vp by RL, this will be the, because we know current equals to V by R. So current drawn from each supply, So one by one we are saying, plus the positive supply and the negative supply. So the current drawn from each supply will consist of half sine wave of peak amplitude Vp by RL, because half is done by one power supply, other half is done by the other power supply. So Vp I we can write as Vp by RL. So we can say that the current drawn from each power supply has a form of a half wave rectified signal. Okay. Hence the average current drawn from each power supply will be, so we can write from the equation of a half wave rectifier. So the Is from the positive supply will be same as the Is of the negative supply will be, it is, we will use the formula of half wave rectifier. So 1 by pi Vp by R. Okay. So now it means the power Ps will be same as the power from the negative supply, Ps minus, and that will be V into I. So I is 1 by pi Vp by RL and V is VCC. Okay. So then the total supply power will be, we call PS, total will be, we'll combine both. So it will become 2 times. So 2 by pi Vp by RL into VCC. Let's call equation number 4. Okay. So how we can write this, because we get this from one supply. Okay. So if I take only positive supply, we'll get this signal. Okay. And we are ignoring the crossover distortion. Okay. So this is half wave rectifier. Similarly, if we take from the negative supplies, we'll get this. Okay. So this looks like half wave rectifier. So we have used a formula of half wave rectifier here. Okay. So based on that, we have written I equals to 1 by pi Vp by RL. And then we multiply this I with V, we get the power, and we get double it, we get the total power, because power 1 by pi Vp by RL into VCC is the power from one kind of supply, positive or negative. So if we combine, we'll get the total power supply. Now the efficiency, how we'll find out? Okay. So thus the efficiency will be given by eta equals to PL by PS, both we just obtained. So it will be half Vp square by RL, which is the PL. You can see here. Equation number 3, PL equals to half Vp square by RL. What is PS? 2 by pi Vp by RL into VCC. Okay. So we'll write here divide by 2 by pi Vp by RL into VCC. Okay. It means if we do the simple mathematics, we will get 4 by pi Vp by VCC. Okay. Let's call it equation number 5. Okay. Now here we got the expression for efficiency. Now what is the maximum efficiency we can obtain? The maximum of efficiency we can obtain when Vp is at maximum. Okay. So when Vp is maximum, so what is Vp max? Vp max, we saw that Vp max is going to VCC minus VCE in saturation. Okay. That is almost equal to VCC. Okay. So here we saw that the Vp max maximum value is VCC minus VCE. Okay. And if we ignore the effect of VCE, VCE usually 0.2 volt, 0.3 volt somewhere. Okay. Means, but ideally it is should be 0. Okay. So Vp max equals to VCC. Now we put this equation in equation number 5, we get maximum efficiency. So eta max will be, okay, here, oh sorry, this is not 4 by pi, this is pi by 4. So this is pi by 4, because this pi is down, it will go up, no? Okay, so now eta max will be pi by 4, okay, and Vp here, if Vp becomes Vcc, so this both will be cancelled, so we'll get only pi by 4, okay. So eta max we can get is 0.785, or in the percentage term, or the percentage maximum efficiency will be 78.5%. Okay, let's call equation number 6. Okay, we saw that the efficiency has been increased. Okay, the efficiency of class B stage, that is 78.5%, is much larger than the efficiency of class A stage, which was only 25%, that too in ideal conditions. Okay, now here also we see that the maximum average power available from a class B output stage is obtained by substituting Vp equals to Vcc in, okay, in equation number, this PL we got, no, this equation number 3. Okay, so the maximum average power available from a class B output stage is obtained by substituting Vp equals to Vcc in equation 3. It means PL max we will get as half Vc square by RL. Okay, so here PL max equals to half Vcc square by RL. Let's call equation number 7. This is also an important result. Okay, now let's talk about the power dissipation. Okay, so in class A amplifier we saw that the largest amount of power dissipates when V naught equals to 0, but in this case, okay, the power dissipation of class B stage is 0 when V naught equals to 0. That is called the quiescent. V naught equals to 0, that time it is the power dissipation of class B stage is 0. Okay, so the average power dissipation in the class B stage will be given by, let's call it PD. PD will be supply power minus load power. Okay, or we already know this formula, 2 by pi Vp by RL Vcc, and PL we got as half Vp square by RL. Okay, and let us give let's give this equation number as 8. Okay, now due to symmetry, half of this PD is dissipated in Q1, that is NPN, and the other half in QP, that is PNP. Okay, so thus Q1 and QP must be capable of safely dissipating half PD watts. Okay, now suppose we differentiate, okay, equation number 8 with respect to Vp, what we'll get here. Okay, so what we are doing is we are differentiating PD with respect to Vp. So after differentiating, what we'll get here, 2 by pi and Vcc by RL minus half, then square will cancel, so it will become Vp by RL. Okay, so this is the simple differentiation we have done. So we have differentiated this equation 8 with respect to Vp, and this we got this equation as, let's call it equation number 9. Okay, now what does differentiation represents? Differentiation represents the rate of change. Okay, means something which is, so in this case this represents the change in PD because of the change in Vp. Okay, now what happens if PD reaches to maximum? So after maximum, it means it will be saturated. Okay, there won't be any change. It means PD max we get when the differentiation becomes 0. Okay, it means there is no rate of change. So based on this we can write that for PD max the differentiation of PD with respect to VP should be 0 because PD has been reached to the maximum value. After that rate of change will not occur. Okay, so this should equals to 0. So we just got the formula for dPD by VP. So it means 2 by pi VCC by RL minus VP by RL should be 0. Okay, this formula is this formula which we got last. Okay, so this should be 0. Okay, it means here VP by RL should be 2 by pi VCC by RL, or VP should be, so this RL and RL will be cancelled, so VP should be 2 by pi VCC. Okay, and let's call it equation number. Next equation number is I think 9 or 10. Let's see. Last equation number was 9, so this should be 10. Equation number 10. Now this VP, what is this says? This VP, which is 2 by pi into VCC, it is, this is the condition for PD max. Okay, now substituting this value in this equation here, substitute this value in equation number 8, what we will get here? Okay, so here we will get that when you are substituting, we get PD max equals to 2 by pi, okay, into VCC by RL, and then we had a VP, so 2 by pi VCC. Okay, so we already have had here. Okay, this is 2 by pi VP by RL VCC. Okay, so here we have 2 by pi VCC by RL. Okay, so here we have written that same 2 by pi VCC by RL. Now what's remaining? VP. For maximum value, VP should be 2 by pi VCC, which is this written. Okay, similarly we can do for the next year. Half VP square by RL, we will put the value here. So what will get? Minus half, okay, let's keep 1 by RL outside. Now remaining was VP square. So VP will write as 2 by pi VCC whole square. Okay, now let us solve this. This equals to 4 by pi square VCC square by RL minus, here we will get half 1 by RL. Okay, and then we square, we make the square, what will get here? 4 by pi square and VCC square. Okay, now from here we can take, let us take common 4 by pi square VCC square by RL, and what we'll get here is 1 minus, here we'll get 4 by pi square, this 1 by 2. Okay, so this implies that PD max equals to this 1 minus half is half, if we multiply by 4 by half is 4 by 2 is 2, so we'll get 2 VCC square by pi square RL. Okay, and let's call that equation number 11. Okay, so this is the PD max we got. Okay, now this is total PD max. Half will go to PDN and half will go to PDP. Okay, so here it means PDN means for NMOS or QN, maximum will be same as PD of PNP or QP maximum, and they will share half of both. Okay, so half of equation number 11, which will be VCC square by pi square RL. Okay, let's call it equation number 2. So these two equations gives us about the maximum power dissipation. This is total power dissipation, equation number 11, and this is the individual power dissipation for maximum for Q1 and QP, which they should be able to withstand. Okay, now at the maximum power at the point of maximum power dissipation, okay, the efficiency can be evaluated by substituting for VP from this equation 10, because this VP is condition for maximum power dissipation. So at the point of maximum power dissipation, the efficiency can be evaluated by substituting for VP from equation 10 into which equation? This equation. We got efficiency equation for efficiency here. Okay, this equation 5. Okay, so I'll repeat the sentence. At the point of maximum power dissipation, the efficiency can be evaluated by substituting for VP from equation number 10 into equation number 5. Okay, let's do that. So what we get here, we got eta equals to pi by 4 VP by VCC. This is question number 5. Okay, here eta equals to pi by 4 VP by VCC. Now for this efficiency, if we want to find out the efficiency at the point of maximum power dissipation, so we'll put the value of VP for maximum power dissipation here, which we got here, 2 by pi VCC. Okay, we'll put this equation here. What we'll get? Okay, so VP will put here for so pi by 4 into 1 by VCC. So VP will get as 2 by pi VCC. Okay, this is when we put condition for maximum. Okay, what we get here is, so we will get VCC cancelled, pi cancelled, 2 by 4 means 1 by 2. Okay, it means 0.5 or 50%. Okay, and this is at PD max. Okay, so the efficiency is 78.5% maximum, but the maximum efficiency at the point of maximum power dissipation is 50%. Still better than the class A amplifier. Okay, it means, what does this represents? It means this, suppose this is the VP, we are writing based on the VP, and this is the PD. So we are making the curve PD versus VP. Okay, and we know that this curve we are getting, okay, when VP is 0, PD is 0 here, and then it's increasing. Okay, and at this point where VP is 2 VCC by pi or 2 by pi VCC, okay, which is the VP, which is the condition for PD max. It means here for that we are getting PD max, and here we are getting 50% here. Okay, as PD is getting increased, okay, when PD Vp is getting increased, and with Vp is reaching to VCC, that time we are getting eta equals to 78.5%. Okay, so this is how we find out the power dissipation. Okay, so this is all about the class B power amplifier. We saw everything from power dissipation to maximum power dissipation. Okay, we saw the circuit diagram, then circuit operation, then transfer characteristics. We saw the crossover distortion. Okay, power conversion efficiency, power dissipation, and everything we deal with this. Okay, I hope this you understood properly. Next we will do the class AB output stage. Okay.